Hello there, everybody. I'm here behind the camera, if you cannot notice that. And, I am here because apparently people want to know how many locomotives I have. Well, instead of doing all of them, because I really don't feel like doing that right now, I've decided to do everything BCRail related, which is surprisingly more than I thought. Yeah. I have quite a few BCRail locomotives. I do have other locomotives, but my main amount of them that I have are BCRail. Some of them work, some of them don't. Some of them have been apparently gone, but other ones are here. So, here we go. And there's going to be no order. I'm just going to pull off the first thing that I can find. The first thing that we have is this. Now, if you don't know what this is, it's fun and magic all in the same thing, and I'm trying to get my tripod to get a better shot of it. And if you notice that the camera is actually on a slight angle, that's not my fault. There's nothing I can do about it, because I sat there for a very long time trying to get it to do what it was supposed to do. But what we have here is a BCRail bud car. And it's a bud car, that's all I can really say about it. And if we zoom out just a bit, this will be a lot easier to do. Yeah, so, as you can see, it's pretty decent. It's not that accurate, but I just picked it up. It's probably the more accurate of the bud car that I have. And there you go. Has the proper horn, and has the ditch lights. There are a few differences from the real bud car, but they would be way too complicated to add if you actually did indeed want to add them. So this is the best you've got. It has this nice little yellow handrail. Decent. Very decent. Runs well. It's a good thing. The only thing that bugs me is the fact that this side is not correct, and this side is. Picked this up for pretty cheap, though. I think it was like $50. It's just a proto 2000 bud car that's just been modified slightly. Perfect. So, as we dig into bud cars, that's upside down, but the bud car is not. Yeah, brilliant. Just brilliant. As you can see, if we just try to, just let me hassle with this for a little bit. It doesn't want to come out of its packaging. No, I don't want to be seen by the world. Anyway, if we try an attempt to pull it out of its package, you will see. Why don't you want to come out of your... Oh. Whoopsie daisies, it appears I'm doing it the wrong way. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Okay. Here we are. Here we are. Indeed. Indeed. And there it is. There it is. It looks like a Bud RDC. It's virtually the same thing as the one that I just showed. Except this one has a package and the other one doesn't. For comparison, there's the two. That would make a very great shot. Instead of being BCRail though, and if the camera would decide to focus, I do not think I have autofocus enabled on this camera. Brilliant. You can see it's a PGE. Well, apparently it's decided to sort of focus. PGE, Pacific Great Eastern. It's not as correct as this one though, which actually has the lights down here. And this one does not. There you are. There's the two bud cars, which would go in a perfect consist with each other, because they're bud cars and that's what they do. Let's grab those and take them off. So you can see the non-bud car or non-passenger, because those are just about the only passenger trains I have. The next one that I have is probably one of my more favored ones. From afar, that just looks like an average locomotive. Let's bring it up a little bit closer. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but if you look on the sides, you can see those little divots. those are all actually the, I guess you call them handles, that open the engine maintenance panels. That's pretty cool. This is equipped with sound and DCC, obviously. Pretty detailed. Has the nice MU cables at the front. I believe this is an Atlas model. I actually have no idea. It could be Proto. The only thing that has been added to it, and you probably can't see it, but there's a little slight color discoloration in paint, is the front. The front has these number boards added, apparently these beautiful non-focusing number boards because my hands are in the way, and has this really weird looking headlight. I don't know if you can see that, but the headlight doesn't look right. The back one, actually, I believe the headlight part fell off, which doesn't really concern me that much at this point in time. Okay, so, never mind. Anyway, the next one, another BCRail one, and I'm just gonna at least take off this package so you can see a little bit better, and that doesn't make it any better. So I'm just gonna take it out of this very regular Athearn box, and I'm sure a lot of people have this exact same locomotive. Move it into the shot. I'm sure tons of people have this exact same locomotive. This one was released by Athearn. It's an SD40-2, I believe, and apparently it needs its handrail to be put back on. Yes, because the handrail goes right there. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, and it's apparently has fallen off by itself. Well, that will be something that I should do. This is a great locomotive, besides the fact that it's extremely dusty, even though it's been in a box. Yeah, that's a very airtight box. And it appears that one of the vents on top, I haven't noticed this, but it's slightly loose and probably needs some more glue applied. Yeah, this is gonna be a helper unit for the unit I'm going to show you next, which is another red, white, and blue unit. Oh, actually, and this one, there's no modification, it's just stock, all stock, and apparently doesn't have a front coupler. Brilliant. A lot of these have not been taken out of their casing for a while because the layout doesn't actually work. At this very moment, I am looking for another DCC system, and I'm short on money. So that's why there is no operation or really layout updates in general. And somehow this Garmin GPS beside me has turned on magically. Anyway, so let me reach to the other side of the table where things are. And in this plastic bag, if we slowly unravel it, slowly, I'm not quite sure what that is. Something. There we are. It's a -9. Or, yes, it's a -9. As you can see, it's BCRail, correct. It's been custom made. Got this for $74. Yeah, $74. Used to be an Athearn Blue Box kit, and has had some custom work done. In fact, I actually think the only custom work that has been done is the cab. He removed the old cab and added the 4-window and all these nice little ditch lights. He didn't add the MU cables, and also the plow, which is there, is broke off because this thing was... Where's the plow? There it is. The plow, which it comes with metal plow, would attach right there on the locomotive and would look a lot nicer. But unfortunately, there's no plow at this current time. The horn has been added, and is actually correct. It's all otherwise correct. I really like the cab. The only thing is the cab is a different color, since this cab, you can't actually see it on camera, but this cab, especially on this side, you can see is actually slightly brighter than the original paint, which obviously hasn't been recoated over. And the graphics, since it's Athearn Blue Box, again, can't see it, looks really, really bad. Especially on the part that says BC. Yes, this is going to go along with the SD40, and it's going to look really nice. I mean, seriously. Look at that. These are some really nice looking locomotives, especially when put together. Oh yes, those are going to go with the BCRail rolling stock. Yes, let me just move those aside. And let's get on to the next thing. Let's get on to this one, which is going to be extremely confusing. So this one had a problem, and actually, it's going to be hard to do, but as you can see, is disassembled. It's an Atlas Pro series. I can't remember the name. It's an 8-39B locomotive, and I knew that. Or I think they called these U-boats. Yes, U-boats. Very detailed, but as you can see, is sort of missing its innards because it does, well, it works, but it was not operating with the DCC, and I have not had time to put it back together. Otherwise, it would look really nice, and would probably go along with the other red, white, and blue ones pretty well. And it's Atlas, so it's really detailed and really, really good. Let's just pop the casing back on top of that, and move that one aside. I think I got that one for a few $100. Surprisingly enough, the other one that I just showed that's all custom done was only $74, which I think I said previously. So, let's get on to, I have to move now, the last actual BCRail locomotive. An Athearn locomotive. The green one, it's an RS, it's an RS-18-3 or RS-3, I don't know. RS-3, I'm gonna go with that, because that's the one it looks like. Yes, so let's just quickly get this thing, and slide this off, put that, and there you go, an RS-3. This is a pretty good locomotive. It does pretty well. It's pretty detailed, except for the fact that it's from Athearn, and I think generally not many people like Athearn. I don't like it, but that's your say. Again, this has not been modified, but one thing that does bug me is I'm gonna have to get like an N-scale decoder for this thing, because there's no room inside. Absolutely none. The circuit board and engine come directly up to the top of the thing. So I'm either gonna have to try to shove a decoder inside the cab, or I'm gonna have to get an N-scale one and shove that one inside the cab. Yes, and another problem is when I tried to add a decoder, the glue that holds the two pieces together actually, which is very hard to see, has actually come off, and the locomotive is slowly separating from the bottom, as you can sort of see. Yeah. That's not generally a good thing. Not generally at all. Oh yeah, and I do have one more technical, I guess you could call it, locomotive. But let me just put this one back together, and that's going to be extremely hard to do. Why does Athearn have to do this? This is some very annoying packaging. Like, it's extremely, and apparently there's like grape juice all over I don't know what that is, nor am I interested. So, now for something that really puzzles me, like a lot, and kind of makes me worried. I did have another green locomotive for you that I had modified myself and hated because it was the first thing I'd ever modified, and I wanted to redo it. The only problem is it appears to be gone. Yeah, I had it a little while ago, and it has never been moved ever since, yet it's gone. I think there's a problem. But what we do have is its fuel tank. Now you can tell a lot by a locomotive's fuel tank, can't you? Seriously, this was sitting exactly where it was. It's gone. Yeah, I'm really puzzled. It was made by Atlas. You know that. By the non-focusing letters. But it was made by Atlas, and it was made in China. At least the fuel tank was. Brilliant. Now, let's get on to the more confusing ones. Very, very confusing. Ooh, a Cato for $60. In fact, I managed to get him down to $50 when I bought it because it's missing a part. Originally, $89. 89. That's pretty good. $50. Bought this one at a show. The reason why it's $50 is because apparently he did not realize that this is gone. In fact, I don't know why that's even... Yeah, I have no idea why that is even gone. I checked the box, but it's gone. The back handrail is gone. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I don't know why. Otherwise, this would be a great locomotive. Now, you're probably wondering, how does this fall into BCRail? Of course, this is, if you have no idea what BCRail is, you're probably wondering, how in the world does this fall into BCRail? Well, BCRail acquired a bunch of these from Santa Fe, and all they did was take a black strip and put it across that, or painted the Santa Fe logo the same blue as this. That's basically what this is. It's Cato, and it makes me mad that it's missing this part, which I really did not know when I bought it, but still, got it for $50. That's pretty decent. And as you can see, put that back in its box and just put it over there. Now comes the really, it's not as confusing as this. I'm still unsure. Now it comes the really confusing one. Again, not as confusing. I don't know why I keep saying that. This old shabby box that says Grass New on it, which is not true at all, because it's just about the oldest thing you've ever seen. Yeah, very old. Beautiful water stains on the side, and it's really heavy, and it's made out of solid brass, which would make a lot of sense. And has the other truck. Let me just move the box back. Now that's pretty good. Let me just sort of, no, can't do that, okay. Okay, apparently that doesn't want to sit on top. Now, BCRail had a bunch of these type things, and I was going to paint it and do it all up, which is, I'm still in the process of, because I was mystified by its engine. Yeah, that's one of the oldest engines I've ever seen. Actually, it isn't the oldest engine I've ever seen, but it's really old, and it cannot be converted to DCC or anything. Also, and it didn't pick up energy from its connector or pickups that are actually on the trucks. That's why this truck is missing its pickups. Or apparently the engine cannot pick up energy from it. Yes, and this right here, oh, this isn't the one that I was looking for. This right here is the next reason. This is the part that connects this piece to the other piece. If you notice, I don't know if you can see that, but it's missing a piece right here on top. That's because this is entirely my fault. As I was working on it, because I was cleaning out its engine, because it came in the foam, and the foam had corroded over time and was filling the whole entire locomotive with everything. Everything, apparently. And this piece managed to fall out, and I stepped on it and broke the little plastic piece off. I think I lost the plastic piece, too. Yes. Oh, no, I didn't. Apparently, I have the little plastic piece that goes on right there. Right there. Unfortunately, it's not gonna help at all in this case, because it doesn't pick up from the trucks, and you couldn't glue it back on because it would just break. Otherwise, it's all solid brass. It has a giant lead weight here for absolutely no reason. Seriously, that's a solid lead weight. That's just solid lead. And Alco Models is the one who made this. It's been made in Japan. It's a C-420, apparently. And it's SX terminal, even though that is not going to be like that for long, because this is going to be turned into a dummy locomotive. A green BCRail beautiful dummy locomotive, and it's going to be fantastic. Yes, yes indeed. So, that's it for my locomotives, except for apparently this, which isn't even a locomotive. This is just a fuel tank. Brilliant. So, that's it for all the BCRail related locomotives. But, this is not the end. I'm going to do BC related rolling stock. All those beautiful rolling stock pieces that I have that are going to be towed behind the locomotives. Yes, it's going to be quite spectacular, because I'm going to film it right after this, and it will probably be on right after this video. And I'll probably have an annotation somewhere around here in this general area where it can be put. So that's it for the BCRail related ones, and if you're wondering if I'm going to do all my locomotives, yes, I'll get to it eventually, but not today. See you later.